Well, for more on this, we're joined now by Nader Hashemi, Director of the Center for Middle East Studies at the University of Denver, also author of the book, The Syrian Dilemma. He's joining us via Skype from Denver in Colorado. Mr. Hashemi, always good to have you with us on Al Jazeera. We will talk about why this latest ceasefire has failed in just a moment, but let's start with the attack on that aid convoy. How could an aid convoy have been attacked in this way?
Well, it's just part of a larger pattern of state-sanctioned war crimes and crimes against humanity that have been going on in front of the eyes of the world for the past 5 years, backed by Russia and backed by the Islamic Republic of Iran. So I think the UN representative, Stephen O'Brien, was absolutely bang on point when he said this is a possible war crime. I don't think there's any doubt in my mind that it absolutely is.
And over the course of the Syrian war over the past 5 years, we've heard the term war crime used a few times now, possible war crimes. Can we expect anything to be done about these war crimes when the international community has failed to stop the war?
No, we can't, because unless there is someone in the international community that is willing to get serious and stand up to Russia's position on Syria and Iran's position on Syria, there will not be a level playing field. The balance sheet, the balance of forces lies in favor of Russia and Iran, who will continue their policy in Syria, replete with war crimes and crimes against humanity. And that is, I think, a position that we can expect to continue until there is some attempt to challenge the Russian and Iranian position. So until that happens, we can expect more atrocities such as the one that you are just reporting on.
Okay, so who's going to stand up then to Russia and Iran? I mean, surely it has to be the United States, doesn't it? And can we expect any action from the United States until there's a new president?
Well, absolutely. I think that's the big date that everyone is waiting to see what happens after November 8th. If Hillary Clinton gets elected, she is on record as stating that she wants to get involved much more seriously to challenge the Russian position and to have some leverage over the course of this war. You might recall, your listeners might recall, that during the critical negotiations several years earlier, when President Obama was contemplating military action in Syria, Hillary Clinton was one of his closest advisors who was pushing him hard that he needed to sort of stand up to the Russian and Iranian position. As president, he did not take that advice. We have to wait and see, but I think until the outcome of the U.S. presidential election is until it's determined and until we know whether the new president is willing to live up to her stated policy, then Russia and Iran will have carte blanche to do whatever they want to do in Syria, as they have been over the last 5 years.
So what then are the prospects for peace over the next few months until there's a new president in the United States?
Well, absolutely zero. I think this latest so-called ceasefire or cessation of hostilities was the last gasp of diplomacy that the Obama administration has exercised with respect to the question of Syria. Now we're just in a waiting game. Syria has officially declared that they are not respecting that ceasefire, and I suspect we're going to see an intensification of the war, particularly in and around Aleppo and in other rebel-held areas, because the clock is ticking, and I think Russia and Iran know that time is not on their side. They're very worried about what might happen after the results of the U.S. presidential election are known. So that gives them about 60 days to try and enhance their battlefield position in Syria, to make it seem like the war is over and to make it much more difficult for Hillary Clinton to intervene. So unfortunately, we're going to see many scenes reminiscent of this attack on the humanitarian convoy, with an increase in the loss of life over the next 60 days.
Nader Hashemi, Director of the Center for Middle East Studies at the University of Denver, thank you as always for your time. We appreciate it. Thank you.